Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you with us today, because honestly, we're breaking down one of the most fascinating trajectories in all of modern football. We're going to unpack the astronomical rise, the severe physical setbacks, and just the pure tactical brilliance of German phenomenon Florian Wirtz. This is the story of a kid who evolved into a global superstar by perfectly blending raw, creative magic with undeniable, hard data.
Okay, let's dive into this. 125 million euros. That is the staggering, record-breaking fee Liverpool paid to pry Wirtz away from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer of 2025. It's a number that, frankly, instantly slaps a massive target on a player's back and sets expectations sky high.
But it begs a really important question, doesn't it? What exactly makes one single player worth a 125 million euro price tag in today's game? Well, I challenge you to look beyond just the cash today. We're going to unpack the unique combination of AI-validated data, incredible physical resilience, and a generational tactical IQ that completely justifies this valuation.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. 1. The prodigy and the setback. 2. Validated by AI scouting. 3. Adapting to Liverpool's tactics. And 4. Germany's golden creative duo. Let's get right into it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the prodigy and the setback, taking him from local youth clubs to a devastating injury.
So, way before the global fame and massive transfers, Florian's life was rooted in the small town of Polheim. His football journey started locally at SV Grunweiss Brauheiler back in 2008 before he moved over to FC Köln's academy. By 2020, Bayer Leverkusen spotted his genius and snapped him up for a mere 200,000 euros. I mean, talk about an absolute steal, right? He quickly became the youngest goal scorer in Bundesliga history at the time, totally leading Leverkusen's attack. But then, March 2022. Playing against his old club Köln, his incredible momentum violently crashed to a halt with a severe ACL injury.
To really understand what he had to overcome, we have to look at the medical reality of this. According to physical therapy experts, Wirtz suffered what is known as a spontaneous perturbation. Basically, he takes contact, plants his left leg, and his knee violently dives inwards on an outwardly rotated foot. It is a textbook mechanism for a torn ACL. And this is exactly why we see so many promising careers end prematurely, you know? For a teenager who relied so heavily on agility and quick turns, this was a massive career-altering physical hurdle. And the medical timeline for this? Notoriously grueling. Because returning to the pitch is one thing, but getting back to pre-injury performance levels, that typically takes until the second season back. Plus, medical data shows players under 25 face a staggering 7 times higher re-injury risk if they try to return before 9 months. So the tension around his recovery was immense. He literally had to rebuild his body from scratch while the entire footballing world watched, wondering if he'd ever be the same player again. Which brings us to Section 2, validated by AI scouting, where objective data proves Wirtz's elite status. Now, what's really interesting about this is how modern scouting is shifting away from the subjective eye test to rigorous, objective data science. We're talking about advanced machine learning models processing millions of data points, everything from match performances to complex tracking data across leagues to predict a player's true potential. This pipeline completely eliminates the human biases that might, say, heavily doubt a young player just because they recently blew out their knee.
And wow, when you run Florian Wirtz's post-injury numbers through this objective lens, the results are simply staggering. According to FBref data comparing him to positional peers across Europe's top 5 leagues, he sits in the 93rd percentile for non-penalty goals. He's in the 84th percentile for expected goals. He is in the 99th percentile for passes into the final third, and the 91st percentile for progressive carries. These aren't just good numbers for a guy coming off knee surgery. These are historically elite metrics that absolutely validate his status as a generational talent. Moving right into Section 3, adapting to Liverpool's tactics. Let's look at that 125 million euro move to Anfield and the tactical shifts under Arne Slot.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive tactical adjustment Wirtz had to make. Over at Bayer Leverkusen, under Xabi Alonso's 3-4-2-1, Wirtz operated mostly as a left-sided number 10, using that left half space to receive the ball and cut inside onto his lethal right foot. At Liverpool, though, Arne Slot plays a 4-2-3-1 system. So because of the squad's makeup, Wirtz has been deployed much more centrally, often pushed toward the right side to link up with Mo Salah. It's a completely different spatial dynamic. It's like solving a totally new puzzle on the pitch. And actually, this move created a fascinating ripple effect for the rest of the squad, sparking what we call the Szoboszlai dilemma. Dominik Szoboszlai initially arrived at Liverpool to be the main attacking linchpin, but Wirtz's arrival and his vastly superior underlying metrics made the German the undisputed choice for that advanced number 10 role, which basically forced Slot to shift Szoboszlai into a much deeper midfield position just to accommodate Wirtz's elite playmaking in the final third. So let's look at how this spatial shift translated into actual Premier League impact. Despite all the structural adjustments and occasionally having to drop much deeper into midfield to help with build-up play, his intelligence just shines through. He quickly ranked third in the entire Premier League for secondary chances created, with 7. And in transition moments, his ability to link up at breakneck speed with forwards like Salah, Cody Gakpo, and Hugo Ekitike shows that he is very much still pulling the strings, even in a tougher, significantly faster league. Now for our final chapter, Section 4, Germany's Golden Creative Duo, focusing on his partnership with Jamal Musiala on the national stage. For the longest time, the whole debate was, do you play Wirtz or do you play Musiala? But honestly, when you look at their profiles, they are completely different beasts. Florian Wirtz is the playmaking organizer. His absolute first instinct is to scan the pitch, find the smartest pass, and rely on his incredible vision and combination play. Jamal Musiala, on the other hand, is the street football artist. His instinct is to beat the nearest opponent using this incredibly chaotic close control and dribbling. So, the crucial point is, they aren't competing for the same job at all. They are perfectly complementary puzzle pieces for a devastating attack. And we saw this exact synergy fully unleashed during the 2026 World Cup group stages. Wirtz contributed 2 goals and a crucial assist against Côte d'Ivoire, while Musiala found the back of the net in the opening match against Curaçao. The real beauty of their partnership is the unpredictable rotation. Wirtz can orchestrate from deep or out on the left, while Musiala just relentlessly drives into the box. It proves that unleashing them together isn't a dilemma, it's Germany's ultimate weapon. This whole remarkable journey from local youth prodigy to surviving a devastating injury to becoming an AI-certified genius to a €125 million man was just beautifully capped off when Wirtz was named Germany's Player of the Year for 2024-25. Upon receiving the award, legendary midfielder Toni Kroos looked at him and said, "I can't think of a more worthy successor than you." Literally the ultimate passing of the torch from one generation's maestro to the next. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Florian Wirtz has beaten the massive odds, satisfied the complex algorithms, and conquered the absolute highest levels of club football. Armed with this ultimate combination of data-backed intelligence and pure creative magic, and playing alongside Musiala, can he take that final step and deliver World Cup glory for Germany in 2026? Man, it is going to be incredible to watch. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Explainer. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.